Tonight on Evening, the long walk that crosses the world and generations.
If you want tulips this spring, apparently you have to get started now. So Ciscoe has some bulb planting tips.
Plus, we hoped you liked Weakest Link. Jane Lynch is going to join us, and she'll tell us what her weakest link is.
Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to begin tonight with a little bit of a history lesson.
Yeah, we thought we knew all we needed to know about Seattle history until Jim came across the story of a very long walk.
Yes, surprisingly so. In fact, it's a walk that took nearly a century to complete. You've probably never heard of Hyppolite Martinet, but once you learn about his journey, you'll never forget him.
That was a story I had to share.
That's Hyppolite's great-great-niece, McKay, and her boyfriend, Doug. They have their own story to tell. But first, back to Uncle Hyppolite.
From what I understand, it started out as a spirited debate between his brother and himself.
It was 1920, just after the end of World War I and the last great flu pandemic, when the Yakima cabinet maker declared he was ready to set out on an adventure.
Across the United States and around the world.
He argued that no man worthy of charity would ever be denied food or shelter. He headed east from Seattle, penniless and shoeless, to prove his point.
If you just project goodwill out and meet people with a smile, they're going to smile back at you.
He walked fast, averaging 34 miles a day.
For weeks on end.
He reached New York, then set sail for England.
He got a job on a ship as a crewman.
Hyppolite kept on walking. France, Egypt, India,
Barefoot.
Always relying on the generosity of those he met.
He lived 100% off the kindness of strangers.
Sadly, China would be his final destination.
Then he was reported as looking starving.
Hyppolite's adventure and life came to an abrupt end.
Most likely malaria.
Nearly 100 years later, McKay realized what she had to do.
And I turned to Doug and I was like, do you want to do it? Do you want to finish the walk with me? Sure. And he was like, sure.
After first discovering her ancestor's grave,
we spent several hours looking for it before we found it.
They set out to walk more than 1,000 miles to his intended destination on the coast of China.
Well, I think the thing that stands out to me is the kindness of the people that we met. We must be in at least several hundred selfies. We took so many selfies with people.
McKay suffered a serious foot injury that cut the trip short, so the couple returned a year later.
Dedication.
And finished the hike.
You know, we went to China not knowing anybody, and then when we went back to China the next year, we had a friend waiting for us at the airport.
She chronicles her uncle's and her own journey in a new book, Growing Souls.
I wanted to tell his story with as much integrity as possible.
Remembering a life courageously lived might be the greatest act of kindness of all.
It was the most amazing journey.
I tell you, that was such a fascinating story, Jim. And I have to say, I'm curious about his motivations. I think you said something about he wanted to prove that any man worthy of kindness would find it. Do you know more about his intentions?
Yeah, this was shortly after World War I, and from what I understand of the story is he just wanted to prove there was still goodness in the world. He thought if he set out barefoot that people would show kindness and they would support him. And he pretty much proved his point. He was right. Yeah. You can read all about it in Growing Souls. That's the name of McKay's new book, and it is out on Amazon now.
All right, guys, I have a question for you. Name a thing that you do in the fall.
Drink Hefeweizen beer.
You do that year-round.
Okay, that's true.
Okay, not a bad idea.
Rake
but
leaves?
If you were to,
No,
but Ciscoe says you should be planting tulip bulbs because if you don't do it now, then they won't be ready for the spring.
Right, and Ciscoe has some tips for doing just that, and also for protecting those tulip bulbs from a common enemy. Here he is.
So do you get frustrated when you plant your spring blooming bulbs and they're tulips and they never come back again? Oh la la. Well, there's some tricks to make it happen. Number one is that you want to use the right kind of tulip. So this tulip right here is Queen of the Night. This is one that if you plant it right, it'll come back for years and years. These are Emperor tulips, and they are fantastic as well. So you got a good chance of these coming back for a really long time. The first trick is we're gonna plant these tulip bulbs way deeper than you've ever done before. The package says plant them 3 times as deep as the diameter. We're gonna plant them 12 inches deep. So now I've got it pretty well, 12 inches deep. Now I gotta add a little bulb fertilizer. The nice thing, this is organic. There's no way it's gonna burn my bulbs. All right, we're ready to put the bulbs in there. And you don't want them too close to each other because that might make them divide. And that's what you don't want. Looks pretty good, but you know who's been watching me the whole time I've been doing this? Those squirrels up in those trees, that's who's been watching, and they love to eat tulip bulb. I am not gonna let those squirrels befuddle me and eat my tulips. So this is one thing you could do. Just get some chicken wire, stick that on there, and now if I cover this with mulch, the tulips will grow right through the chicken wire, and there's no way the squirrels can dig through that to get it. The only problem is they'll try, and a lot of times they pull the chicken wire up and it looks horrible. So I got a better way. So these little grids are staking system. So plants go up through the grids, but I use them to protect my tulips. There's no way a squirrel is going to be able to work their way through that. I've defeated them! And in spring, when I see the new growth come up, I just take those off. By then, the squirrels have totally lost interest, and I will have a spectacular tulip display right here, squirrel-free. And because I planted them so deep with good fertilizer, they'll come back maybe 10 years in a row. Oh la la, I can't wait for spring!
Thank you, Ciscoe. Squirrels all over our area are so disappointed right now.
Yeah, they are weeping right now.
Ciscoe is looking out for us, though. That's the way we need to look at it, though. Little disappointment. Well, look, it's been, 6 months since this whole COVID thing, and so a lot of us haven't been able to enjoy concerts and, shows at the theater, but some people are still finding ways to do what they love. Check it out. At the Puyallup Children's Theater, they managed to pull off something pretty tricky. Summer camps and shows. It meant making a lot of changes. Masks every day, temperature checks, plexiglass during rehearsals. The producer and director say the kids managed the measures really well.
The alternative is to not do it. And so, all these kids, I've seen adults on my Facebook and they're all whining about all these new protocols, but the kids are so adaptable and willing to learn and change and, take it on. And they were really awesome with it, so.
And they still want to be here. They'd rather be here with a mask with tons of hand sanitizer than be home in their bedroom by themselves.
It's interesting. The director and the producer said this was also a great way for the kids to practice their expressions with their eyes since they had to wear a mask. You could only rely on your eyes. So the angry look.
Let me try it.
Happy look.
I thought when you said bring a mask to the show, I thought you meant like something from Halloween. I'm sorry. But I like what you're doing with your eyes.
Thank you. Still to come, Jane Lynch talks about the comeback of the hit game show The Weakest Link. But first, who's the biggest Bruin of them all? It's time to celebrate Fat Bear Week.
Okay, we are back, and guess what? It's almost Fat Bear Week.
Oh, yay!
Yep. Yeah, I haven't gotten a card from you, Saint. I'm sort of surprised. All of the grizzlies in Alaska's Katmai National Park are putting on the pounds, prepping for hibernation, and the park lets you pick the biggest Bruin.
Yeah, and it's quite a choice this year. Will it be 32 Chunk? This guy. How about this guy? He is named 747 for perhaps because he's almost as big as a jumbo jet? Or will last year's winner, 435 Holly, aka Fat Holly, take the trophy again?
I feel like I've heard it all now. I can barely wait for the voting to start September 30th. Barely wait. So if you'd like to know more, text Fat Bear, can't believe I'm saying that, text Fat Bear to 33438 and we will send you a link.
All right, so we have Alaska covered. Now we have a story that's going to take us down to Mexico. It's like all of North America being covered in one show. Tortillas Con Madre is the name of a family-owned business that is bringing the taste of northern Mexico to the Northwest.
Yes, and as Jose shows us, they have a unique recipe that has been handed down from generation to generation.
That's right, this is a story of a family coming together to help mom create a unique tortilla that honors their traditions. I think I'm feeling hungry already.
Welcome to Tortillas Con Madre operation. We make local organic tortillas. We decided to start here in the garage. We turned it into a factory. The owner, obviously my mother, started out with the idea and we just helped her along the journey. Oh, the beginning that was the hardest part, but it's also the happiest.
The care is there. We started small, but we start with the highest standards. Families first, to be there in something that was important for their mother, it's a great feeling. You realize that we're all together.
Working together make this business special. We made the tortillas with a lot of love.
This tortilla is made with organic pumpkin oil, and so it just gives it a very, very unique taste, and it uses all local ingredients. Oh, I eat tortillas every day. Might as well, right? Take advantage of it.
Con Madre means with mom. I'm doing this because I want to honor my mom. She passed away a few months later that I create this recipe. She tried the tortilla and she was amazed. I want to share this with everybody.
It's great. It's something good, something solid, something amazing.
If you have your passion, I think you can do anything that you want.
Thank you, Jose. You can find Tortillas Con Madre in grocery stores in Bellingham, Edmonds, and in Seattle. For more information, go to our website at king5evening.com.
Well, you know, we love celebrating the spirit of local businesses who are innovating during this time. So let's head down to Bothell, where the tea party has to go on. Here's Kim.
It makes me feel like a bride.
Flashback to Royal Wedding Week 2018, when a British spot of tea was a proper way to spend an afternoon in Bothell.
We are a small mom and pop store. My husband and I run the business. We have traditionally done private tea party events.
Guests could dress up and sit down for high tea service. The appointments kept Graham's RoyalTea busy 5 times a day. But the centuries-old tradition came to an unceremonious halt when the pandemic hit.
So we very quickly pivoted and began to do something that I call the tea party to go. It is a fabulous traditional afternoon high tea that you can pick up and take and enjoy anywhere.
Each serving includes 3 house-made finger sandwiches, 2 scones, and 3 desserts from Bothell Baking Company.
And then we have some fresh fruit, freshly made Devonshire cream that we make here, strawberry jam, and you put it all together in a box and it makes a fabulous afternoon tea party.
The on-site decor has undergone some changes too.
So we did a very quick, elegant redecoration and created a beautiful atmosphere to have COVID weddings.
Graham's now hosts small ceremonies for 20 people or less, with many more able to virtually attend on giant screens.
A lot of people have had to postpone or cancel their weddings, and a lot of people are heartbroken right now because they want to begin their new married lives together. And to be able to offer that, that brings us a tremendous amount of joy and fulfillment.
This small family business is still fighting to stay alive, but Christy hopes Graham's commitment to hospitality will help them weather the storm and come out even stronger.
So the silver lining would be to be a greater part of our community, to offer more services, and to be here in the years to come to celebrate with our community in the milestones of their life.
Well, thanks, Kim. Graham's offers elopement and wedding packages, and if you want one of their tea party to-go boxes, you can get them for $22 per serving. If you want more info, just head to our website, king5evening.com.
I do love tea, and I think tea tastes better if the cup is dainty. A little dainty teacup always makes the tea taste better. Jim?
You have to hold it like this with just the two little fingers?
Yes. Do you
I
have a
agree.
problem with that?
No, I love it.
It is safe to say, by the way, that 2020 has been kind of a hard year for students, for parents, for seniors, everybody in between.
Yeah, a lot of people dealing with mental health and well-being issues, but there is hope and help.
Absolutely. We've been working with New Day and New Day Northwest, our show here on King 5, and Primera Blue Cross to have a virtual town hall to kind of address some of the issues you guys were just talking about, these unique challenges. Yeah, it's called The Way Forward, Mental Health and Wellbeing, and it's hosted by our own Kim Holcomb.
Right, and we have lined up some experts from around the state to share real tips for staying healthy and balanced in these difficult times. The show airs this Thursday. That's October 1st at 11 a.m. on King 5, and we hope you'll join us.
Coming up, Gem is one-on-one with Jane Lynch. Portions of Evening are sponsored by Primera Blue Cross.
Oh, hey there, and welcome back to Evening.
Right before you were watching our show, hopefully you were watching the premiere of an old game show that has returned to prime time.
That's right. The Weakest Link has come back to NBC, and I had a chance to talk to the host, Jane Lynch. How did this come about? Are you also a fan of the show?
Yeah, I watched it in the early aughts on NBC, and then after I got the job, I started watching on YouTube the British ones, and yeah, I love the show. It's a very straightforward BBC quiz show format, so we didn't mess with that at all. We just have a new set. It's a lot bigger and COVID friendly, if there's such a thing.
You have played a few acerbic characters over the years from time to time, but the truth is, in real life, by all accounts, you are a very nice person. So do you have to pull a little acid? Do you have to pull a little bit of the spitefulness in order to put a little edge on this hosting job?
I'm an actor. I can pull that stuff out and then be able to tuck it away until I go back to work. But it's very, I took a little Sue Sylvester, a little smarmy Jane, and kind of crafted a way of being for this show, for a way of hosting this show.
Welcome to The Weakest Link.
So how much of Anne's legacy are you concerned with carrying forward in the new version here?
That's something I try not to think about because I think that would freeze me in my steps. So I always, anytime I had thoughts of, should I do it like Anne? Am I as good as Anne? And this, that, I threw those thoughts away and just, host the show.
You are a singer, an actor, a director, obviously a host. You seem to do so many things well. Is there anything at which you are the weakest link?
Dancing. I can't dance. I mean, I can kind of like move on my own like that, but if you tell me how to do something, step, ball, change, turn, and all that, I can't. I'm absolutely the worst.
Well, luckily, you're one of the best hosts I can imagine for hosting this show. I can't imagine it with anyone else taking a second crack at this show other than you. I can't wait to watch.
Oh, well, thank you. I hope I don't disappoint.
You will not. Thank you so much, Jane.
Thank you.
Okay, always fun to talk to Jane.
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah, super talented too. And if you want to check out the show, it's coming on Monday nights at 10 o'clock.
Up next, a musical performance by one of the stars of the Puyallup Children's Theater.
And I feel like it's calling out to me.
I've been standing at the edge of the water.
And Angela is singing, so that means we are almost out of time.
Tomorrow night, I want you to meet these two guys. Their dream, to get paid to play professional football. They are pros, but the way they're playing, it's not what you think.
Oh, okay. I'm excited about that. Also excited about what's next. We're going to leave you with a performance from one of the members of the Puyallup Children's Theater. So here's Visacia Grace singing How Far I'll Go from Moana. And you can see the entire performance on our King 5 Evening Facebook page. Have a great night.
Excellent. And Angela will be singing along. Good night.
One day I'll know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go. I know everybody on this island I complete with pride. I will make us strong. I'll be satisfied if I play along. The voice inside sings a different song. What is wrong with me? Sing along.